like first to speak of two incidences, neither one of which involves the 761st. It's concerning Julius Beckton and his lovely wife, Louise. We were stationed together in Combat Command B of the 2nd Armored Division about 1950. And he was more than just an ordinary officer. He was extremely interested in communications, very imaginative, got together just surplus military radio equipment and started a station in the attic of one of the barracks. It was called a Mars station. It was able to reach, I don't know how many miles, but it fortunately turned out to be able to reach Princeton, New Jersey, where my son was a student, and the manager of the Tiger Inn where he lived also had this equipment. And by me staying in my home in Mainz and using what was a phone patch, I was able to talk to my son in Princeton, and arrangements were made to come over to Mainz, Germany, where we were living, and have the most marvelous holiday, Christmas, New Year holiday together we would never have had otherwise. It was very a memorable occasion. I've had many assignments from platoon until my last 4 years in the military. I worked for the Secretary of Defense. I've never met a man in my life more deserving of both his military accomplishments and his present civilian accomplishments than Julius Beckton. His lovely wife and mine were very dear friends, and she's telling me things my wife did that were a good guide for her the rest of her life. But my wife, I don't approve or never did approve of all the things she ever did, because she and I, now I don't know how it's affected you, Julius. I don't know whether it always spilled over in an undesirable way. But my wife always needed a very tight bridle, but I was never able to put it on. My son and I today drove up around through your town, your nice city here, so changed from anything I knew. And we went up to Fort Hood and into the 2nd Armored Division. Two short things about General Patton. When I was called up for active duty as a reserve officer way back in early February 1941, it was to the 2nd Armored Division at Fort Benning, Georgia. And dear George commanded us. And he was very interesting, very worthwhile. One of the things was he had about 200-300 reserve National Guard officers, and we're practically all lieutenants. And he insisted that we would drive every vehicle in an armored division, fire every weapon through the crew-served, the smaller crew-served weapons, and operate every radio. And then for his amusement, on the last day there, they chose a stream with a very sandy bottom, and there was a bluff about 20 feet high overlooking it, and one of the vehicles we had to master at that time was a motorcycle. A lot of us had never ridden one. And he came down to where he was there with his officers. He went into that stream with a sandy bottom, and believe me, none of us got across it. He harped on us on this one motto of his, which was so important. Remember, talking to lieutenants now, as a platoon leader, you've got to treat a platoon of tanks like a piece of spaghetti. If you want to get somewhere, you can't get there by pushing it. You've got to get out in front and pull it. I can tell you that's one of the most unhealthy places you could ever be in your life. Later on, when we joined the 3rd Army, I reported in to the Army headquarters, and I was given his instructions. It was entitled Divisions and Separate Unit Commanders. I was a separate unit commander. And there was a memorable line in it, and it's which goes, any commander who fails to accomplish his mission and is neither killed or seriously wounded has not performed his full duty. Now, if you ever got work you don't like, that's one. Coming back to the 761st, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. From the 2nd Armored Division in Fort Benning, I was assigned to as a cadre to one of 5 separate tank battalions. It was the 758th. And unknown to me, it was going to be the 1st Black Tank Battalion. Now the other officers joining were all grousing, saying what a terrible thing it was. But I have one great advantage in my life. I've never been around a Negro in over an hour in my life. In my high school in Los Angeles, I went to a senior high school. There were no Negroes in it. I played football 4 years, track team 4 years, and believe me, I have a picture at home that's really a memorable one. It's the finals of the high hurdles in Los Angeles City, and the 8 of us are going over the first hurdle, and everyone's white. Imagine what it would be today. You couldn't get a white man. I went to college. Geez, that must have been a lousy story. I went to college in Maryland, played football 4 years, lacrosse 4 years, was assistant manager of the boxing team my junior year, and managed the boxing team my senior year. Never went to college with a Negro. In all of the athletic events, it includes the Army, it includes West Point, New York U. Imagine boxing New York U and there wasn't a Negro on the team. I never competed against a Negro in my life, and it turned out to be the greatest blessing you could ever have. I'm an honorary cuss. I make my own decisions. If I'd ever listened to my broker, I'd be broke today. I can't listen to anybody that's got a good idea, but I do what I think best. I found out when the first Negroes were to arrive, they had a heritage of undeserved attributes that were all on the downside. I never looked at them that way. I had no reason to, because I make up my own mind. I came into the Army from being a football coach and a high school teacher. And all I could think of was, man, what a football team I could get out of these first 20 I got. Then there's a thing that exists between men, and it exists between women, and between men and women, and that's empathy. You can feel towards a person when you first meet them. It has nothing to do with words. You get a feeling between the two of you where you know you are on the same playing field. And that happened, I think, because of my lack of knowledge that we made it out together. My first assignment was the 758th. I stayed with it for almost 2 years. To shorten it up, I spent 4.5 consecutive years with Negro troops, ending up with the 761st Tank Battalion. I spent 2 years and 7 months with the 761st Tank Battalion, first as the executive officer, and then later as its commander. That was 2 years and 7 months, minus 3 months. I was hospitalized in England after being shot. I came back and rejoined my battalion, and I think one of the few great complimentary things I've ever known was some of the men later, after the war was over, told my wife that my driver, after we got back to headquarters, turned around to some of the men who came up there when I came back, and he said, "Everything's going to be all right now. My boy is back." You've heard about all of the accomplishments of the 761st Tank Battalion, and it's sort of foolish to go over them again. I will touch a very few things. None of our men went psycho that I know of. The only one that went psycho was a white officer, my executive officer. There was this terrible day when the whole Third Army was making a big attack, and it was delayed and delayed and delayed for a week. And at the last few hours before the attack, a patrol had come back and said there's ground out there unpassable for tanks. The direction of the attack was changed about 30 degrees, and we got the word out by radio as they were moving towards the line of departure. I hurried up in a Jeep, got up at the line of departure, it was barely breaking daylight, and stood there. I knew they knew me, and I was making sure they were going in the right direction. They all went by, buttoned up their hood, waved, buttoned up, and kept going. And then when they got on by, a German patrol had come forward and nailed me with a Burt gun. Unfortunately, that day I went down, my executive officer cracked up, and C Company, in the dim light, went into a tank trap, and 8 tanks were destroyed there. The men were heroes by the moment. The first sergeant of the company, Sergeant Turley, instead of staying behind, rooted a bow machine gunner out. He went with them. His tank was disabled. He dismounted with a submachine gun and a belt of ammunition with a machine gun. He provided covering fire. His men got away. He got killed. Lieutenant Coleman, they were pinned down by fire. His men were getting hit. He went forward with a submachine gun and found the machine gun nest, wiped it out. He got killed. When you remember that of the thousands and thousands of American soldiers in World War II in Europe, it was all over this one little battalion with about 752 enlisted men, 38 officers, has 3 casernes in Germany right after the war named after them. The Sergeant Samuel Turley Caserne in Mannheim, Julius, remember it? First Sergeant of C Company. Lieutenant Coleman Caserne and Reuben Rivers Caserne, one in Gießen and one in, it begins with K, I can't think of it now, it doesn't matter. But the fact that these men were such terrific fighters, they would do unusual things. They hated the Germans so much, I think they had a lot of hatred in their heart after they left here, and I'll get back to that. They hated him so much that a man would get shot out of a tank, he would be a sergeant, he'd go over to another sergeant he outranked, or a corporal, and using their language to get out of that tank, I know where that guy is, I'm going to get him, you don't know where he is. He would take the tank over, get a covered position, and knock it out. And they fought like that. They were marvelous gunners. Coming back here to Fort Hood, for us it was you could say the best of times and the worst of times. The best of times was coming from Claiborne, where the land was swampy, flat, densely vegetated. We were masters at getting tanks out of mud spots where they couldn't move. But we got here to the marvelous terrain you have hillsides, valleys, woods, open ground, closed ground. That was great. Another thing is we were here about a month, and we were converted from a light tank battalion to a medium tank battalion. That's from a 37 millimeter gun to a 75. That's like going from the second team to the first team. When we trained here as school troops, we were on constant maneuvers, so that we were testing your skills against somebody else. The tank destroyers were taking their tests, they're called their Army Ground Force tests, to see if they're ready for combat. Our men defeated them so many times and enjoyed it so thoroughly, and during that time is when we learned to be, not to depend on anybody else. Everything we're ever going to accomplish is within our own abilities. We got to learn to respect ourselves. We got to learn to respect our buddies, that we can't exist unless we support each other. They learned that so clearly here, even on a maneuver against a tank destroyer. If the tank wasn't properly maintained and fell out, it was ruled against you and you got a bad mark. And all you have to say, man, if it's in combat, guess what? You're dead. So do it right. They had their own tailor shops and they were the best looking outfit on the post. That's pride. They had pressed uniforms. They had shine boots. And when they'd come to an officer, they would salute and they would say to themselves, they were taught this, I am a man and you have got to return my salute. And when they left here, there was so much pride in themselves. Now to go to the other side. This was a segregated post. We had separate officers club, we had separate special service club. If they went into an exchange and they got their supplies, went over the cashier, there might be 2 or 3 of them. If a man come up, they were pushed aside and the white man was served first. This was graded on them. But we learned to stuff it because there was no choice, and we were going to make our name by how well we trained, how well we outmaneuvered those tank destroyers. And I knew they had the spirit one day when I went over to the tank area where they're maintaining their equipment. There was a lot of laughter going over around one of the tanks, and I went over to find out what it was about, and I asked one of the men, he says, you know what they call these tank destroyers call themselves? They had the logo, Seek, Strike, and Destroy. He said, man, seek, strike, and destroy. When we come up, it's sneak, peek, and retreat. circumstances where somebody would be so ungruesome, it was unbelievable. They could say something funny. I won't do it because it isn't so funny now. I do remember in final examination at the port of embarkation asking a man what it was like. There was two of them standing there. One of them said he put that piece of wood on my tongue and pressed it down. He looked in there and he couldn't see the man behind me, so he said, "You're all right." And the other said, "Mine was worse than that. He saw I had 2 arms and 2 legs and a head. So he said, "You're okay." But they were like that all the time. And you know, it alleviated so many terrible times and places. The worst thing here, though, was the bus situation. The only recreation areas that had off of posts was here at Killeen, which was a very small town, and Belton and Temple. And the bus drivers took a vicious pleasure on the last bus at night, which was always full of soldiers. They were always in the back seat or the back area or standing, getting about 2 or 3 miles from the post here, and say the bus was overloaded. Some of you are going to have to get out. And they would make 6, 8 of them get out and walk the last 3 or 4 miles back to the post. They really enjoyed it. The day came, and it actually happened a little about 6 weeks before we went overseas, when one of our Negro officers came out of the Negro Officers Club, got on the bus along with a negress who was so white she looked like a white woman, and she was the wife of an officer friend of his. Instead of going to the back of the bus, he sat down about the middle of the bus. If shortly, about 2 more stops, the bus was pretty well filled with workers leaving here, most of whom were women. And apparently somebody pointed out that a Negro officer was not sitting in the back of the bus. He was sitting in the middle of the bus with a white woman. The driver went back and told the man that he would have to go to the back of the bus. The man refused to go back to the back of the bus. He had a short temper, short fuse. He refused to go back and told the bus driver he had a choice of either driving the bus himself or he would drive it. The bus driver got on the radio, called the dispatcher, and said he had a umpty kind of Negro here, and I'm going to drive to the NP station and have him wait there for us. They went to the NP station, and they started asking him questions, and many of these white people on the bus were yelling that he'd used bad language, and he was disrespectful to the bus driver. And the MP was a captain and 2 enlisted men. And the captain and the enlisted men called him nigger. This is a black officer. They sure were talking to the wrong man. That man was Jackie Robinson, who later became the baseball player. Jackie Robinson, at that time, was the only man to graduate from UCLA with 4 letters in 4 major sports, and that's true still today. He came here from Fort Riley. At Fort Riley, he had gone through OCS and got an appointment to Fort Riley. At Fort Riley, he didn't want to go out for football. They asked him to go out for football, which he did, and then it came time to play Fort Leonard Wood, and Fort Leonard Wood sent the word back that their team would not play a team with a Negro on it. This is what it was like for us. Jackie Robinson didn't go. After the game was over, the coach went around to him and he didn't report for practice, and he said, "I will not play anymore unless you assure me this incident will never happen on any of the future games." They said, "We can't do that." Jackie Robinson said, "I won't play." A lieutenant colonel, who was a special service officer, got with him and said, if you don't play, we will transfer you to another post where you'll wish you did play. And I got him. They transferred him to the 761st Tank Battalion. He was an interesting, colorful person. We livened up all of us a lot as we had pickup baseball games, softball games. I remember the officers playing softball against him. Everybody in the infield went out about 50 yards further because when the ball came by, it looked like a saucer instead of a round ball the way he hit it. And after this incident, at the bus incident, with all the shouting, they took him into the MP station. They had a woman there take down his story of what happened. And he'd start to answer a question asked by the captain MP. He would never get an answer out. This woman would interrupt him and contradict him. Well, she would then repeat what some of the passengers said about it. He did threaten one of the enlisted men because of the way he was talking to him. The next day, I was called into the group headquarters, and they had heard about the incident in the worst possible light imaginable, and said there was probably a court-martial pending. Jackie came. I went back to headquarters, and Jackie was there waiting. He told me his story. I then told him, I think the best thing for you to do, you have accrued leave, take about a 10-day, right now, put out a request for 10-day leave. I will sign it. You go home to Pasadena, California, where the entire atmosphere is different. Think about it and line up and do whatever you can to help yourself, because it pretty well is going to be a court-martial. Well, you did a payroll debt deduction. Copies of telegrams that came from within what was called the War Department instead of Department of the Army, and it came to we had we have Army areas in the United States that then had Corps areas. It came from the War Department to I think it was 23rd Corps here, to Kimball, and said we are being deluged with letters about upholding the character and the popularity of this man. Proceed in court-martial with great care. You would think they would have dropped it, because all of the causative things originated on this bus, and by the I spent quite a bit of time there, and it was the first time in my life I was ever called prejudiced, because after my testimony, the prosecuting attorney recommended that all my testimony be thrown out because I was too prejudiced in favor of the defendant. Isn't that a beautiful word? Way to use that word? The beautiful part of it was that Jackie was a very intelligent individual. When the first appointee from the adjutant general came to him, Jackie asked him, what chances do you think I have of getting out of this? And he said, I think you have very little. Jackie said, I don't want you. I want somebody that believes in me. The next man that came was a man named Cohen. He asked him the same question. He says, no doubt about it, because this is exaggerated beyond belief. I will defend you and you will get off. At the beginning of the trial, there were many, many witnesses who were on the bus and made many derogatory statements about him, about the bad language he used. And if you listen to a television today, the language he used is sort of dinner conversation. But it did look pretty bad until this very smart lawyer asked this enlisted man who claimed that Jackie Robinson had threatened to injure him. He asked him if he'd ever called Jackie Robinson a nigger. He said, under no circumstances. I said, do you ever use the word? No, I've never used it. Did any of you ever use that word? Well, they all did, actually. He said, no, none of us ever did. Then he said, I want you to tell me, and this is very, very important in order to punish this man properly, I want you to tell me the exact words you used when he threatened you. He said, if you ever call me nigger again, I'll break your back. Well, the president of the court stood up, and the others did, and then he had the charges and specifications read, and every one of them, he just said, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. We lost Jackie then. I wouldn't sign the court-martial paper. He asked me to sign court-martial papers. I refused to do it. So I didn't expect to stay in the Army, and if they were going to throw me out, that'd be a good cause as any. But they wouldn't. I knew they wouldn't throw me out because I trained the battalion to reach this peak it was at, and the whole battalion blew to pieces. And I told Colonel Kimball, I said, this is ridiculous. So he transferred to another place where it was prepared. Well, we left here with a bitter taste in our mouth. Yes, he got off, but it never should have happened. We went to Europe, of course, and I won't repeat all the divisions we were with. There was 7 divisions in over 6 months. You can imagine how you're hopping. There were many bad things about it. It was like wherever we went, whenever we changed station, it was like being senior in college or high school, and to no fault of yours, you were sent to another school. Well, what you do, you start at the first grade right away because, you know, you were black. But within one day, they put you back up in the senior class. So we're always going this way and that way and this way in these 7 divisions that we fought with. They loved you when it was over. Anybody would shoot the direction they shoot. It's great. The accomplishments are many. Many of them enumerated. I won't repeat them. It serves no useful purpose. Those that have been omitted was that 8 of our enlisted men got battlefield commissions. And that, of course, is a great tribute to their ability and their actions on a battlefield. One of the streets at Fort Huachuca is named after one of our men. We've just had our 45th reunion, and I've been able to attend the last 22 of them. My son here has attended with his family about 10 of them. We for years, we've used it also as a Bates family reunion. I was at Shaw University about 3 weeks ago, where Dr. Brown will talk to you shortly. And what we're trying to do there was get a Congressional Medal of Honor for one of our men, Reuben Rivers, who certainly deserved it. But unfortunately, the paperwork went up to a point and then stopped. One of the 3 officers on the board that was here, Dave Williams, who was our company commander, was there, and myself, was a guest speaker of ours about 5 years ago. He had a very fine combat record, Colonel John Cash, both in Korea and in Vietnam. He was an instructor at West Point and a very fine speaker. And he said, you know, I've been a guest speaker at many reunions, and I have never seen a group of people like you. The way you really care for each other. You know, not doing anything special, just there because of what you achieved together. We became men in each other's eyes, and nobody ever was capable of taking that away from us. I want to clear so much that could be said, but I'll close with one more comment. It may sound egotistical, but to me, it is beautiful and very simple, and it means so much. About 4 years ago, the reunion, they gave me a plaque that obviously had my name on it and said, he believed in us before the war, during the war, and after the war. What more could you ask for? Thank you for your attention.